you. In less than a century, humans have learned to fly, walk, even live in space. But what if? What if we could push the limits of the human body even further and drop a man or a woman from the edges of space to Earth? CNN's Brian Todd is here. He's got some details of an incredible attempt that's about to take place.
It is really exciting, Wolf. You know, we've all seen the stories recently about the uncertain future of the space program, maybe even the dissipating interest in that program. This jump might just rekindle that interest. It will certainly push the bounds of human exploration in the heavens.
He's a 41-year-old Austrian skydiver who works for Red Bull. But with NASA's future so uncertain, Felix Baumgartner might just represent the next frontier of flight exploration. What if a human could fly through the heavens in just a suit, helmet, and parachute and survive? We're about to find out. Later this year, this guy's going to try to jump out of a capsule at the edge of space for what's basically a record-shattering skydive.
So my first question is a two-parter. Are you nuts, and why the hell are you doing this?
Well, first of all, I'm not nuts. I think it's human nature, you know. Records are meant to be broken, and I'm a very competitive person. I like the challenge, and to me, there's nothing more challenging than working on the Red Bull Stratos project.
The Red Bull Stratos project will test the limits of the human body. Baumgartner will try to break some unheard-of records. The longest and highest free fall ever, 120,000 feet above sea level. That's more than 22 miles. And he'll try to make the fastest ever free fall.
When you step off within the first 30 seconds, you accelerate so fast that you're going to break the speed of sound, which is more than 690 miles an hour.
That's something no one's ever done outside a plane or spacecraft. Baumgartner's already base jumped from the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur and from the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. The man whose record Fearless Felix is trying to break is a consultant on this project, Joe Kittinger, who jumped from 102,000 feet 50 years ago.
You're the only one who's even come close to being where he's going to go. What is it like up there?
It's distant.
I'd say so.
And it's very hostile. It's not meant for man without elaborate protection.
What is it about that feels so hostile? Is it the pressure, the speed? What is it?
It's a lack of pressure. And you know that right outside of you, there's a vacuum of space. And without the protection of that pressure suit, you cannot live. And that's an interesting thought that you have.
Like Kittinger, Baumgartner will be taken to the stratosphere in a capsule, pulled by a helium balloon. Then he steps off. The only thing protecting him, what he calls the next generation pressure suit, and 3 parachutes.
Are you afraid of dying on this mission?
Of course I'm afraid of dying, because I worked so hard to reach that level, you know, and I'm living a good life, and I think the most important thing on doing something like this is to come back alive.
How is Felix Baumgartner going to top all this? He probably won't. He says this is going to be his last jump, and he's going to go back to his profession of being a helicopter pilot. That might be a little bit of a letdown, Wolf.
It's amazing.
Right.
What's the scientific goal of this project?
Well, aside from seeing if the human body can withstand the sound barrier on its own, can fly past that speed on its own, they say they also want to advance our knowledge enough to benefit space tourists in the future, to see if humans, you know, venture into space more and more as tourists, as they've started to do, to see if they can survive outside a vehicle if their vehicle breaks down, to see if they can survive outside it, at least temporarily. This could go a long way to proving whether that can happen.
Amazing stuff. Good luck to him.
Sure is, absolutely.
We wish him only the best. Thanks, Brian.